Hi guys, welcome to our end of the year project. This is a project that we do every year, and normally I'm changing the point value up here. Normally it's worth 50 points, but this year because we do not have the presentation function, it is going to be worth 45 points. And you also get 10 points for submitting your choices. So let me go ahead and take some time to explain what the project is and how you go about figuring out what you are going to do. So below here is the map of when we would expect things to be done by. So if you look at this map, excuse me, if you look at this kind of calendar map, you can see that we have mapped it out, giving Mondays almost like a day off as our mellow Mondays, and then continuing on through the week from there. It's not 100% sure on when the students' last work day is going to be. So keep in mind that even though this is worth 45 points, it's our end of the year project, there could be other things that we assign the following week. So I'm not going to go too much into detail of the work days, but what is expected, but I will go through the project itself and how you decide which projects you're going to do. So this is our geometry unit tic-tac-toe project. It gives you the option to do a lot of different projects. You must do 3 of them, and one of them that you must do is number 5, and it needs to make a tic-tac-toe. So if I choose to do box 1, which is create a logo for a t-shirt that relates to a geometry concept, I have to do number 5, so that leaves number 9 is the other project that I must do. So again, it does, you have to make the tic-tac-toe. So you can go across, you can go up and down, or you can go sideways. So create number 1 and 9 go together. So if you choose to create the logo, then you must do the being a TV reporter. If you choose to make a book, if you give a mouse a cookie related to geometry, you must do number 5. So then that means that number 8, creating a crossword puzzle using important geometry vocabulary, is the last one that you need to do. If you choose to do number 3, the geometry scavenger hunt, you must do number 5. So that means that you are also going to have to do number 7, create a song or poem about geometry concepts. And if you choose to do number 4, a geometry and life collage, you must do number 5, which means that you are doing number 6, making a comic or cartoon that centers around geometry concepts. So a lot of different options, a lot of different things that you can do. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the actual project itself in what each one of these entails. Now, on your drive, you do have on your drive, you do have a questionnaire, and it won't let me pull it up as I'm trying to record this. You do have a questionnaire that you must fill out. So it tells you what are the other 2 that you wanted to do, and then it also has a little box that says click here, meaning you understand that you have to write your 2 paragraphs. All of these are going to be submitted as one file through, and I am not going to release that until May 8th. So I will release it at the end of the week if you choose to upload, if you have finished them all, but I do not want a million submissions in. I want everything together, all 3 files in the same spot. So I'll explain that later on this week. So here are the rules. You need to complete any 3 projects, one of which must be the 2 paragraphs. So that has to be number 5. Each project box is worth up to 15 points. So you can earn a max of 15 points. Again, I'm going to go ahead. I'm changing this as we are doing it. We are not presenting this year, so that is not an option. So we'll just go ahead and delete that from there. Below are the guidelines for each of your choices. The number corresponds with the number on the tic-tac-toe board. Read each of your choices carefully, because once the contract is signed, so once you submit your request on the ones that you would like to do, which again, there's a Google form to do that, you can't go back and change your mind, okay? So if you choose to do box number 1, which is the t-shirt logo, you must include the following things. You need to design the front and the back of the t-shirt. It must contain a picture and geometry words. The shirt should be detailed and descriptive. The pictures that are drawn should be detailed in descriptions, and students can get the template for the t-shirt from their math teacher or can use a real t-shirt if they wish. I've had great, and I wish we could go into the classroom and I could show you these things, but unfortunately I can't. But I have had great students make actual t-shirts that have to do with geometry, and they have brought them in. So if you have that capability and you want to do that, more power to you. If you don't have that capability, I have added to the bottom of this document, again, this document is shared with you, a t-shirt design. You would just need to print this out, cut it out, and design the front and the back of it. So that's what you would need to be uploading. If you choose to do the book, if you give a mouse a cookie book, it needs to be have at least 5 pages long and be completely illustrated, which means on each of the 5 pages, you need to have an illustration. It must be neat and well thought out. If you have at least 5 if-then statements, I do again have a great example of this. I'm going to try to see if I have it electronically. If not, I will try to get something to you for an example of this. You can draw, use internet pictures or magazine pictures to illustrate your work. It must be in full color, and it must have a front and back cover to it. So all in all, it is 7 pages with the front and the back, and then 5 pages of if-then statements. I'm getting ahead of myself, hang on. So if you do number 1, okay, let's look back about our tic-tac-toe board. If I do number 1, I have to then go do number 9. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 9 to see if that's something that you guys would like to do. Number 9 is imagine that you are a TV reporter who must present a news report about someone involving geometry, whether you're talking about a roller coaster or you're talking about making the pizza pie and cutting it into equal slices and finding it, whatever it is, I don't care, okay? I do not care. Use your imagination. This allows you to use your phone to record things. But I need to know what it is that you're reporting on, and it needs to be at least 1 minute long. Okay, it needs to be at least 1 minute long. So if you choose to do 1, you have to do 5. 9 is the other option though. So those 1 and 9 go together. You can't do 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 9 go together. Underneath here, you can see that we also have the rubric on how I will be grading you. So I'm not going to go through this individually, but I did want you to see that that rubric is on here, and the script is 1 minute long, not 1 page long. We had an issue with that. 1 minute long. Okay, so if I choose to do 2, which is the if you give a mouse a cookie, then I will do 5, and then I will have to do 8, which is creating a crossword puzzle using important vocabulary words. Now, I am not an idiot, guys. You can go online and just Google geometry crossword puzzles, and something will come up. However, the beauty of this is I've done this for many years. I've seen lots of projects. I can tell if you just Googled something and you print it out and marked it as your own. That's called plagiarism. That will receive a 0 on this whole entire project. However, there are crossword puzzle makers. So if you want to do a crossword puzzle maker, you can do that and type in your own vocabulary words with your own definitions. That would be perfectly fine and perfectly acceptable to do. If you would like to do a puzzle, or a game, I will allow you to do that for the crossword puzzle. Okay, so if you want to change it to do a game, perfectly fine. But again, I will be looking for at least 20 items on there. So even if you have a picture and what is this, whatever it is, be creative as possible. That's what this is designed to do, guys, to make it creative, to make the end of the year, boost those grades as much as possible. Because we will be throwing in extra bonus points too for things that we feel like are excellent and over the top. And no, it does not need to be a bedazzled, but a lot of effort is what we're looking here for, guys. Let me see your effort. So 2 and 8 go together, and then we also have 3 and 7. So if you choose to do a geometry scavenger hunt, you must create a song or a poem. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. So the geometry scavenger hunt, you're to create slides of geometric figure found in and around the home. We're not able to do it at school this year. Each figure you find should have its own slide, and you have to identify the object. What type of geometric figure is it? Find the picture of an object. Find the area if it is a 2D object, and the perimeter if it is a 2D object. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. So you're working with 2D objects here, guys, finding the area and perimeter of them, and you just make your slides with the picture and the area perimeter, and make sure that you had all this stuff looked at the picture of it, objects, dimensions, and all that stuff labeled on here. If you do number 3, again, we have more stipulations on here. You have to do number 7 then. You have to do number 7, and that is creating a song or poem about the geometry concepts. The song or poem needs to have 3 verses or 3 lines, and it must contain 4 lines per verse. So if you're creating a poem about circles, you need to have a total of 12 sentences. It's a poem, so it should rhyme. It should have some type of beat to it, or you can do it as a song. I have wonderful examples of students doing songs dealing with this. So that will actually be the video that we will post for one of the days. So make sure you check that out if numbers 3s and 7s is something that interests you. And then our last set to do is numbers 4 and 6. So geometry and life collage and making a cartoon strip over geometry concepts. So number 4, geometry and life collage, you will have to make a collage on a sheet of paper or / poster board. So if that is not something that is readily available for you, then don't choose this one. Okay? If you don't have magazines, you don't have access to print things, you don't have access to newspapers or anything, you cannot use clip art for that. It needs to be a theme. So I've had people who do like food things, and they have all these different foods, and they've labeled all the foods, which is geometric shapes of them, whatever it is you want to be. But make sure that there is no clip art, and if that is something that you choose to do, then make sure that you're following the guidelines on that. And the number of items that we need. So that is, again, down here with all that. And you needed 10 items for this. And I guess it was not 10 items. It was not clear on that. So I want to make sure that we do add that on here. Because that was, 12. I'm sorry, 12 shapes. It was 12 shapes. That's right. So you need 12 shapes. That was number 4. Right? Plus 12 items. Okay. I can just move this down a little bit so it's a little bit more organized. Okay. All this on now. Okay, I'll fix that here in just a few minutes. Okay, so if I do number 4, I again will have to do number 5. Everyone has to do number 5. Then my last option is to do number 6, which is our cartoon and comic strip. Must have at least 5 boxes. If you do comic strip, must be colorful, must show effort, and it has to have an idea that is over the top. Again, this is something, guys, that a very creative option. If you enjoy drawing, we want to make sure that we channel that inner drawing, but just because you're drawing excellently, it needs to have that comic strip cartoon kind of feel, a storyline, a plot. You can do more than 5 boxes, absolutely. But we're trying to allow everyone who has different interests to do different projects and different things to show that we understand what geometry is. And that's what we have been working on for the past month or so. So these are your choices. It must be a tic-tac-toe. You must do all 5 boxes, or excuse me, you must do box number 5, and then you pick the other 2 choices that you would like to do. So for today, it's very simple. Look over this paper. Again, it's posted on your Google Classroom, and decide which projects you want to do, and then submit that form. You get 10 points just for submitting that form, guys, and for some of you, that is going to be huge. If you need anything at all, please ask me, send me an email, and Mr. Miller and myself are here to help you, okay? Please ask us. The videos that you will see posted on here will be videos that go over more in depth, maybe gives you some of those examples for this project. But I'm not going to give you the words. There have been plenty of words that have been used, plenty of words in the videos for things like that if you were interested in doing the crossword puzzle or anything. So thanks, guys. Have fun with this project, and if you need anything, just let us know.